Anyway, Sandro, if I can ask you, you've had a lot of matches this month, a lot of midweek, weekend, Open Cup. Is there finally some relief now that after this weekend's match, you can relax a little bit with the international break coming?
Yeah, but now in my mind is not what is after the game, if we can relax or something like that. Only in my mind and also for our guys is to keep the focus, to keep the concentration for this game tomorrow. This is our level. We need the highest quality on the pitch tomorrow against a really good team, against Atlanta United. So this is my main part, my main focus, and this is the clear direction for tomorrow.
Next, we go to Mark.
Coach, you put on such a defensive masterclass when you guys played in Atlanta earlier in the season. Talk about the need to contain their quality attacking team that seems to finally be finding their footing, Amaro, Latte, Loth, etc.
Yeah, our defense behavior was good in Atlanta beginning of the season. Really good in a lot of good moments, and with their quality, especially with the individual quality, with the strikers and the winger players, they changed a little bit the structure. The last games, when we compare this to the first game, now they played most of the time the last 4 or 5 games with 3 center backs against Orlando. They switched then in the halftime, but it's a really good team, and we have to defend all together. It starts with our pressing, but of course, high responsibility for our center backs against the strikers.
Everyone, I don't see any more hands. Go to Anthony. Sorry, Anthony.
Hey, Coach. Sorry for hopping in just now. I hope I'm not repeating a question. There's been a lot of players that have come in the past month that have been with the 2 team in years prior, the reserve team, that have really produced. Sofo, Valencia, Carmona in years past. How does that add to your confidence in the team, knowing that reserve team is doing such work that makes it easier for you to be able to rotate the squad?
Yeah, of course, that's our way. That's our philosophy from the whole club. To develop all these guys, and it starts then especially with the younger guys, with our academy, under 18, under 16, when we have also there our youth training sessions every 8 weeks. But with our second team, great job what they are doing, and also last season. It's very important that everyone is adapting our style of play from the academy, from the second team, the players. And of course, then the result is then always when we have a clear direction with all these coaching staffs, then the result is then at the end the first team, and the end product of the players is then when they get the minutes on the field. And the best example for us in our season right now is Omar Valencia and Sofo. Then Vicky Carmona did do the same steps. So it's great to see this development, and sometimes it needs times for the young players, but they have to be very strong, to be patient sometime in this moment, but then to be ready when the time is coming.
Go back to Mark.
Talk about the value of having arrested Emil Forsberg going into tomorrow, given the fact that you were able to save him throughout the entire match on Wednesday.
Yeah, that was our idea. Beginning of the week when we are looking DC United, then Charlotte Wednesday, tomorrow against Atlanta. It's clear, and I said this directly after the press conference against Charlotte. It's clear that Emil is playing tomorrow, that Chupo is playing tomorrow in our starting lineup, and then we will see which rotations we are doing compared to the game against Charlotte.
Next, we go to Dan.
Just continue to talk about when you're facing Atlanta at home. They have not had a 3-point result since coming into the league. And what does that mean for you to try and continue that, to show your dominance against them at home?
Yeah, first of all, when we are preparing the next game, and now it's for tomorrow Atlanta, we are always looking of their best quality, of their best performance on the field, which they have done in the past against their opponents. So when you are looking now to especially to the last 2 games from Atlanta, home game Cincinnati, then the last home game against Orlando. So what I said at the beginning, it's a really, really good team, high in individual quality, especially in the offensive line, with speed, with good smart players in their behavior, in their space behavior, then very good midfield players in their ball position, good space behavior. So we have to be ready. This is clear, and not to think about the results which we have done the last 10 days, last 2 weeks. No, we have to show this now in the next opportunity, the next game tomorrow. It starts every weekend the same, 0-0, and then we have to be ready in the first duel in our first sprint to be very intensive against Atlanta.
Next to it, Gary.
Good afternoon, Coach. Just curious on the statuses on Lewis Morgan and Marcelo Morales. Will they be featured in the lineup, or are you holding them back until when you get to Texas?
No, Marcelo Morales is clear, and I mentioned this last week as well. It's a clear way how we want to progress him. After his long-term injury, he's playing today for the second team in their home game, and then we will talk after our game tomorrow what it makes sense next week. Then the second team, they have next Wednesday as well, a game on the road. So this is what we have to look for. But I'm pretty sure with every minute now for the second team, he's coming closer to our first team. And then I'm pretty sure Omar Valencia is then away in the national break. And I think then it's a good opportunity to switch and then to give him then also the chance in our first team. And Luis Morgan, it's always the same question, the same answer. Sorry, Gary. It's not always the same question. Sorry, it's always the same answer. We have to look. So he's in a really good spot. But is it necessary now to take the risk without training session, without team training session? When you're looking today on our team training session, so it was warm up, a little bit activation, then we played boxes, then some build up moments, but it was not the highest load, not the highest intensity for short moments. So it's always the question right now: is he ready to be an option and to take a little bit the risk? So, but he's really in a good spot, but or we give him the chance to come in the rhythm, in the trainings rhythm, then 2 weeks, and then everyone has then a good feeling to start then with Luis Morgan. But it's only a question of time. Is it tomorrow? To be honest, it's press conference. I can answer now this question. This is clear, Gary.
Next, we'll go to Christian.
Hi, good afternoon, Coach. Best of luck this weekend against Atlanta.
Thank you.
We're gonna go on a break for the international break until June 14, I believe. That would mean that there are 2 weeks left regarding Felipe Carvalho. So my question was, has there been any conversations or any progress in the status of him and a possible extension with the club?
Yeah, we are really very open conversations for me and Felipe. So very open conversations, and we are trying everything, and then we will see the result end of the month. But for us, it's clear he's a very important player for us. He played especially in our playoff run very well. Then he had some moments this season with injury, then not always to come in the rhythm. But we will see very open, very clear conversation from the club side as well with his agent also. So it's a really good conversation, and at the end we will see what happened. So this is what I can say right now at this moment.
Everyone, we have time for 2 more questions with Coach. First, go to Vas.
How's it going, Coach? Thank you for the time. Apologies for the noise. I just wanted to ask you about the opponent on the night. I know you don't like to focus too much on them. You like to focus on your team, but what can you expect from a team that's had a rough season so far, but they are coming off of 2 wins? And how can you keep your team focused on trying to get a result at home?
Yeah, what I said, what I mentioned is that we are always preparing the last games of Atlanta, and that we are always looking of their best performance, of their best quality, and not to think too much. Okay, which results we got the last couple of days. So it's always the same. It starts 0-0 on Saturday, and then you have to be ready at the beginning of the game in every duel, in every run. In every passing, to be very serious, to play very clean, and so it's a really good team. Come on, everyone knows it with the quality. I don't want now to mention all the names of the starting lineup of Atlanta now, but everyone knows we have to defend all together and to keep the focus and not to think about okay, after that is a national break. No, it's the last game of this tough months, and then. This is what we need, and this was directly the message after our Wednesday game against Charlotte. We have to be ready tomorrow when it's kickoff, and then let's start.